A lot has changed since Panasonic released its Lumix GH6. Full frame has dominated the market, and even in the micro four thirds space there's a lot more competition, what with Zcam and Blackmagic dominating that field now. So now with the newly announced Panasonic Lumix GH6, can the GH series still make its mark on the camera industry? Let's find out. I'm sure you all saw the leaked YouTube video that came out last week, so I won't spend the entire video just going over the specs. If you want that, you can read the spec sheet. What I'm interested in is what this camera is good at, and to me, I think the GH6 could make an excellent documentary camera, so I decided to put it through its paces. I'm not going to completely ignore the specs, of course, and I think we should have a look at the camera body itself, because it is actually quite impressive. Users of Panasonic cameras won't be surprised to see that this thing is built like a tank. The camera sports a 3.68 million dot EVF and a 1.84 million dot rear screen. Interestingly, this is the first of the GH cameras to sport a fan, much like its older brother, the Panasonic S1H. Also like the S1H, this camera has a flip and tilt rear monitor. I actually quite like this because it means you can get the monitor away from the HDMI port and still flip the screen. It's a nice addition. Imaging wise, the Panasonic GH6 has a 25 megapixel sensor with 12 plus stops of dynamic range. There is an interesting new feature called Dynamic Range Boost mode, which allows you to expand up to 13 plus stops of dynamic range. The GH6 also comes pre-installed with Vlog and uses for the first time the full V-gamut mode found in their VariCam lineup of cameras. This is really nice. In terms of resolution, the camera can shoot at 5.7K up to 60 frames per second, Cinema 4K up to 120 frames per second with no crop, and it can also shoot at Full HD up to 300 frames per second with a very small crop. And as you can see from my footage here, I've become a little bit addicted to the 4K 120p. In terms of the body, the camera comes with two card slots, one SD card and one CF Express Type B card. When it comes to ports, we have a microphone input, a headphone output, a USB Type C port and a full-size HDMI port. At the front of the camera, and using the included cable, you can now feed timecode in and out of the camera. The actual body of the GH6 will be very familiar to users of the GH5. In fact, it looks almost identical. One significant upgrade to the GH6 over the 5 is its audio capabilities. The camera can now record up to 4 channels of sound using the XLR1 module and reassigning the headphone port to become a microphone port, giving you 4 channels, 2 3.5 inputs and 2 XLR inputs. This is going to be really nice for documentary shooters. In fact, I actually think this is more of a documentary camera, like I may have said before. One of the more impressive features in the GH6 is the ability to record ProRes internally. Unfortunately, it's only ProRes 422 and ProRes HQ. There's no LT and no proxy. I really hope Panasonic will be able to utilise this in the future. I wanted to test the internal ProRes in this camera, so I went and shot my friend Jack from the band Penelope Isles recording a track for his new solo record in his studio. I decided to only use available light as I wanted to test the low light capabilities of the camera and also test how features like Ibis work when adapting third-party lenses via a Metabone speed booster, which widens the field of view and adds an extra stop of light to the sensor while allowing you to use lenses from other manufacturers like Nikon and Canon on your micro four thirds sensor. So here's that film now. I'll see you on the other side.
Nearly whisked away in a helicopter to escape. Balls in a field, guitars and cellos, violins and cases. I'll take a ride in a yellow car. should be kept quiet, one after the other. Things I never think of, broken bed, a nail in my eye. I feel tired, did I sleep? My mind is wired with stories I don't keep. Ticking clocks, moments that are fucked up, digging holes and burning the rules, trying reverse things, never meant to hurt things. What does it all mean? Sleeping away. I feel tired, did I sleep? My mind is wired with stories I don't keep.
As a run-and-gun documentary camera, the GH6 is actually very impressive. It packs versatility, powerful codecs, a large array of frame rates and features, as well as a well-designed physical layout. In the next video, I'll look at some features a little bit more in depth, like Ibis, audio, and of course, the dreaded autofocus. What do you think of the GH6? Will you upgrade? What features would you like Panasonic to add to the already fairly comprehensive set of features available in the GH6? Let us know down below. And until then, I'll see you on the next one.